Small space living is where city life is heading. That's a fact. So you want to maximize your space and have a fantastic garden. You want something that's livable, but you also need something that's stylish. And when you're planning a garden, you can't forget the harsh Australian sun. Otherwise, it's just going to die. So let's see if we can tick all those boxes in this small space here. So let's take a closer look at this courtyard. Well, I know it's hot because no plants are surviving. We've just got a couple of old figs here. The fence, it's in good condition, so I think I can paint that. And the paving's not too bad either. I mean, it's filthy, but once it's cleaned up, the colour is really going to set the tone for the rest of the garden. And because it's so hot, I want to put in a bit of a shade structure, but something that looks architectural so it can be seen from inside the bedroom as well. As our space is only for 2 people, we don't need much paving. So everything on the inside of the line stays, everything on the outside is going. Well, that's certainly much easier than lifting it all up and relaying it. The old keylock wall that was here really dated this garden, so it had to go. And we've replaced it with a slimline steel edge. This is really easy to install with just star pickets and rivets. What I really like is the level change, and that's why I'm adding a second box to make it feel even more dynamic. What this will do is it'll make the garden feel like it evolves as you walk out the house and make it feel larger. For our shade structure, I could have just used a simple sail, but that wouldn't have looked very nice. So I'm keeping with our minimalist theme, and I'm using timber. Now, this is going to add warmth and give this garden a real upmarket feel. I'm using treated pine, and I've given it a coat of stain to make it look expensive. Now, this may look like complicated construction, but actually it isn't. All the timber is 100 by 100s, all our spacing is 100 by 100, so it's doing it for itself. It's just rinse and repeat, but it does give us a nice, intricate detail. I'm using the same timber for our roof structure to give us shade. Now, I'm going to have 2/3 overhanging, so it's cantilevered, and 1/3 out the back. We're putting 3 screws in to make sure it doesn't fall over, and I'm going to thread some booker rod through the end so it stays nice and tight and doesn't twist over time. I'm not gonna lie, this part of the project is pretty fiddly, but trust me, it's gonna give this thing strength, which is gonna make it last. God, garden gnomes have come a long way, haven't they? To finish our structure off, I'm just adding these sections of timber that come out into the garden bed. Now, this is the structural part, and this is just for look. We're going to fill it up with some granite and some planting to soften it, but it gives this a great sense of scale and puts it back into proportion. Just because we're doing a low-maintenance, minimalist garden doesn't mean I'm going to shy away from plants. If I do, it's just going to feel lifeless and stark. And I've got 3 different types. We've got a tree, some cactus, and then this array of fantastic grasses. The taller one is called Pennisetum nefrae. It's going to give us a bit of height. Then we've got something with a real erect, upright habit, which is this Poa Eskdale. And then to contrast with that, have a look at this fantastic Carex called Golden Curls. This is going to look like waves all over the ground. Perfect. Oh, it may seem a bit strange that I'm putting a tree in such a small space, but we really need something to balance the size and scale of our structure. This is the perfect thing for it. It's a crepe myrtle. Now, this isn't going to get too big. You can cut it back. It's deciduous, so it's going to allow winter light through and protect from summer sun, and it flowers its head off all over the Christmas period, so it's perfect. When you've got a muted planting palette like we've got with these grasses, you really need some big feature plants to stand out and bring the design together. In our raised steel planter, we've got this fantastic Euphorbia amac, and the lime green really pops in front of this dark black fence. Over here, in front of the rusty steel, we've got a whale's tongue agave, which looks fantastic. And my #1 tip for planting succulents, wear gloves or get somebody else to do it. We're finishing our garden off with some mulch, but instead of using an organic mulch, I'm using crushed granite or deco granite. This fits with our theme perfectly, and unlike an organic mulch, it's not going to break down as quickly, so it should only need topping up every couple of years. The combination of timber, steel, and the black fencing, combined with this amazing plant palette, has turned what was a drab, unusable back garden into an amazing retreat. And the best thing of all, it's going to thrive in our harsh climate.